Today we're going to be looking at Bet365's 2 goals ahead early payout promo, or you may have heard it referred to as a 2-up promo. This 2-up offer is a fantastic opportunity to make some really huge profits, as there are no limits on the payout and there are no stake limits either, and there are hundreds and hundreds of games to choose from and tons of different leagues as well. It's not actually the only early payout offers that Bet365 do. If you come up to the offers tab, there are plenty of other early payout opportunities. So you've got NFL early payout up here if your team goes 17 points ahead. And if you come over to other sports, you can see there's an ice hockey early payout if your team goes 3 goals ahead. And then you've got an NBA early payout here if your team goes 20 points ahead. And then there's a basketball early payout, which is usually like the NBL league, and that is if your team goes 18 points ahead. Also, once the AFL season gets going and the NRL season as well, Bet365 do early payout offers on there as well, so it's something worth looking at. But today we'll be focusing on the 2-up offers, as it's probably the best of the lot and it really does have some huge potential. And if we just scroll down, you can see a lot of the leagues here. So there's loads and loads of different leagues. You've got everything from the Australian A-League to the English Premiership. You've got Champions League, Europa League. So there's plenty of games to choose from. And if you even scroll down a bit further, I think, yeah, there's just untold games. And it really does provide us with so many opportunities. And that is where the 2-up software will come into play. So if we jump over to the 2-up software and we scroll down, you can see a few different filters here. So of course, with a 2-up offer, your ideal scenario is the team you back go 2 goals up and then they go on to either lose or draw the game. And that way we will win the bookie bet and we'll also win our exchange. And it can lead to some huge payouts. As we just saw, with the amount of leagues and the amount of games that are on offer, it can be quite hard to try and work out which games are going to be the best for this offer. And this is what the 2-up software is going to do for you, and it gives you some vital data here. So in these 2 columns on the right, obviously you need both teams to be able to score, and you've got a percentage chance here. So you can see the ones in green in the 60s, that's pretty good. And of course you're going to need 4 or more goals to get a full payout as well, so the percentage is there. And anything over 40 is pretty good. There's not too many football matches that have 4 goals. I guess I'd say the average is probably only around 30%, maybe even less. And in the next 2 columns, we've got the qualifying loss percentage and then the QL divided by the payout as well. So when we are doing 2-up offers, if you're just letting them run and hoping for the full payout, you are going to have a bit of variance and there's going to be losing streaks. You're still going to be profiting nicely in the long run, especially if you're consistent with it. You can make some really good profits. But obviously, you still want to do your best to keep the qualifying losses as small as possible. So in this game here, Sydney versus Newcastle Jets, this one is minus 0.31. So if you staked $100 on that and you didn't trigger the early payout, your qualifying loss would be 31 cents, which is pretty good. And then in the next column across from that, you've got the QL divided by the payout. So that's going to actually take into consideration how much you'll be paid out if you do trigger it. And if we scroll down, you can see some of these games here, they might have bigger qualifying losses like these ones down here. So for instance, this MacArthur versus Western United game, it's a slightly bigger qualifying loss, but the QL divided by the payouts actually quite small in comparison. That's because the odds on Western United are slightly bigger, so the payout would be significantly bigger as well. The other great thing about the 2-up software as well, in this right-hand column, you've actually got a rating here. So this actually takes into account all of these other columns over here, and it's going to give you its rating. And you can see all these ones highlighted in green, and obviously the bigger the better. And you can see this top one here, Sydney versus Newcastle Jets, is a great opportunity there. Although you can see the date there, it's not until next week, that game, so you'd want to wait a little bit longer to actually place your bet on that. You can also change any of these filters to whatever you want. So if you did want to just search for the next few days, you just click on date, and then if we go to Sunday there, that'll give you all the games for the weekend. Still got some nice ones there, MacArthur versus Western United. And if you've got your own kind of strategy where you only like to back teams that are, say, minimum of 2.5 odds, you can just come in the min box, type in 2.5, and it will just list all the teams that are 2.5 or above. The easiest thing to really focus on, though, will be the rating over here. That pretty much does all the hard work for you. And then you can just see if it's a game that you want to get involved with, and you can just play it from there. There'll be plenty more videos showing how to use the early payout calculator as well. So it can be a little bit of a pain, especially with the European games, as they're happening overnight, so it's going to be hard to do any live betting. But you can see there's quite a few Australian A-League games as well. So if you did want to lock in some profit on some of these games, you can choose the early payout calculator. if that is your strategy. So hopefully that's given you a good example of how easy the 2-Up software will make this for you. And if you haven't got involved with 2-Up promos before, it's well worth getting involved with. If you're nice and consistent with it, you can really start adding to your bank and making some nice significant profits. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.